What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here, back with more Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. As always, guys, we are starting up with a little bit change to the crew this time around. We had Mr. Catch is not going to make it today. Sean had something actually come up in real life, and he couldn't make it, but we've got a substitute who may or may not be a permanent member of the game from henceforth. We'll see how he does. Call it a trial period, if you will. Usually this is the point when we introduce ourselves. So you guys know me, Jumbo Thick, running the channel. I am the GM for tonight. And then we have Jumbo Smooth here. You want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Jumbo Smooth. My character is Marius Wolf, prospector, human peasant, very poor. Now, I just got my pick in our last episode here, so I'm excited about using it.
Yes.
And yeah, hopefully we live to see another day.
All right. And then our new, what would you call yourself? Victim to the slaughter. We'll just go by Mr. Doobie, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Yes. First time to all of this, and I will be playing an Irish voiced character, so I apologize in advance to anyone who is of that descent.
Yes.
Does not approve of this accent. I apologize.
What's your character name?
His name is Seamus McGreedy.
Seamus McGreedy. I'm loving it. And we're working it in. All right. Just to give a quick recap on the story henceforth, or this far, we have gone through a bit of some harrowing experiences the past 2 sessions. Seamus was not present for that, of course, but hopefully we'll be mixed in from here on. So Mr. Catch and Marius ended up meeting up. If you watched the previous session, they met up finally and were trying to figure out a way to get Miss Suna and Abby, the small child with her, back to Sealburg, the mining town where everyone is from and where everyone is looking to seek shelter. They are currently in the woods when they are not ambushed. You guys didn't get ambushed. You more or less spotted some beastmen ahead of you, maybe looking to ambush you, and you decided to take a rather divergent path through the woods, I'd say, and out to a very unique house where Mr. Catch bellowed out a challenge through the use of gratuitous language and threats of bodily harm to a rather disgruntled beastman, and you guys were entering Mother Inga the Sightless's hovel, where you were henceforth creeped out to a very absurd degree, and were cursed, essentially. You've been branded by Mother Inga, and you have been tasked with bringing the head of the local beastmen war horde. Do you remember his name by any chance?
Tarkag.
Do you remember his full name?
The Unfilled.
The Unfilled. Oh man, I'm so proud of you right now.
Guardian of the Forbidden Stone.
Yes. Oh man, you had the whole name. Yeah. Okay. I'm impressed. I'll pretend you didn't rewatch the video and pause it to listen to it. So yeah, exactly. So Tarkag the Unfilled, you must bring his head to her. She gifted you with an amulet, you and Mr. Catch, that should aid you in your endeavors in attempting to do this. And she did say to Catch, which I'm going to say to you now because he is not going to be here tonight, that if you were to attempt to actually go collect his head, that you should probably see her first and she might give you some advice. So there's that. And then you guys made your way out of the hovel, kicking and screaming, where thenceforth Mr. Catch walked way ahead of you. He was very perturbed by the situation that happened and the possible suspected nature of Miss Suna. And he traveled a little bit far ahead of you guys, and he all but sprung another Beastman ambush by the very same gore that he pissed off before you entered the hovel. And that about brings us up to speed. Does that sound about right to you guys?
Sounds about right.
Okay. So, we are actually not opening up on you, Marius.
All right.
We are opening up on Mr. Seamus.
All right.
So, Seamus, you are currently running full speed through the woods as fast as humanly possible. Go ahead and give a quick description to all those out there of your character, what he kind of looks like.
Seamus is 22. I rolled for all these stats. He is 6'1", with jet black hair and pale gray eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he is also currently wearing a leather jack.
Yeah, so that gives you some armor. Do you have any idea, like, preference for color, anything like that?
We'll do brown.
Okay, brown. And we'll say you just have, like, some standard kind of peasant-like pants or something. I'm assuming boots. Does that sound good to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just boots.
Yeah, boots. Boots are good. Amongst, like, some other, like, traveling bags, things like that, things that you would have on you. But you were running as fast as humanly possible. You have no idea why you are running. You just know you're running from the woods and you're running from something. You will have the pleasure of making the first roll of tonight. I need you to make me a challenging athletics test. So just a straight athletics test.
Okay. That is going to be an 18.
Okay. How many degrees of success is that?
Where are we? Athletics. That is going to be, it's out of 27.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
1 degree.
So it's a degree. 1 degree of success. Is it? No,
It's
17.
technically not,
It's technically
but
just a
it's
success. I'm trying to
real
get
close.
better on that, doing the math real quick. So you don't trip and smack your head into a tree. You're actually keeping your composure a little bit, dodging through the brush. You're starting to slow down because you're just running at this point. What would you like to do?
If I am slowing down, I will kind of slow down, put like my hands on my knees, like I'm sucking in air.
Okay. As you do that, you kind of hunch over and you notice that there's actually a metal shackle dangling from your right ankle. It's just one. There's a shackle with a couple links of some kind of tether system. It doesn't look like any metal you've seen. It looks a little unusual, maybe old, maybe rusted. You're not exactly sure. There's some strange symbols grafted into the actual clasp, and it's been actually jangling behind you this whole time, but you've been running so fast you didn't notice.
It was strapped to one of my ankles.
Yep, your right ankle is what it's dangling from.
So I will bend down and look at this. Would I be able to understand the markings on it?
Okay, go ahead and make me a challenging intelligence test. So just a straight intelligence test.
That is a 75, so that's going to be a big failure.
Massive failure. Okay. By how many degrees? Just so I know.
It is intelligence. Is that a 41? So it's at least 3 degrees.
Okay, 3 degrees. That's actually not as horrible as I thought it was going to be. So 3 degrees of failure. So you touch it and you get glimpses of some kind of memory that you're trying to recall. You get a glimpse of a man in a wide brimmed black hat You're kind of following him behind. There's people shoulder to shoulder with you. You get a glimpse of the same man, but you can't see his face. Possibly at a different time. Looks like he's come to you and he is beckoning you to come join him. You get another glimpse of a formation of beastmen charging, and you're in some kind of formation. You are using your crossbow, shooting over the shoulder of another man, and people are just dying in droves. And that's about all you get out of this, since you didn't succeed as much as I hoped you would. But you're getting glimpses of it. The thing is, it feels really foggy. It doesn't feel like memories almost, although you know it's you that you're remembering. It's just a very strange feeling. So
I will, yeah.
Go ahead.
So I will let go of it and pick back up. I'm assuming I don't have anything on me that can like break this off of me.
Are you going to check yourself real quick to see what you got?
Yeah, we'll do a check.
Okay. So as soon as you start, you've kind of gained your composure at this point. You're leaning up against a tree. When you lean up against the tree, you feel around your neck, there's actually a noose made out of tight cord wrapped around your neck. And as you feel towards the back, the rope is broken about mid-back. You do have your crossbow slung over your shoulder, and you feel around and you feel that you still have the bolts necessary, and you have most of your gear. As far as, are you looking for anything in particular, just something to attempt to try to break the shackle off?
Yeah, it's just something to try to attempt to break it off.
Okay, what would you think that you would have in your pack? If you look through the gear that I gave you when you first rolled your character.
Looking through my pack, I would maybe think that something on this dagger might be able to.
Okay, so
might be able to, like,
funny thing, you're looking for the dagger. You can't find the dagger.
Oh,
but you feel something kind of strange, kind of tucked into your waistband in the back, and you go and reach for it. Would you like to remove it?
Yes.
Okay. You grasp it, and it's definitely the hilt of something, but it's wood. It's not your dagger. Your dagger was made of metal, and it had a tight leather wrapping. You pull it out, and it's the strangest thing you've ever seen. It looks almost like a sheathed sword, but it's the size of like a large kitchen knife. And it's wood, and there's engraving across the wood. It's the most fancy thing you've ever seen. But the symbols are very, very strange, and the wood is very treated, and it doesn't look like any wood you've ever seen. It almost has a red tint to it. And there's a bizarre, almost face etched into pieces of it that look very demonic, but in a kind of rodent kind of way. And as you pull the sheath off, you see that there is an impossibly sharp blade underneath. It is technically still a dagger, but it also has some interesting properties in combat that you may or may not be able to use. It is impossibly thin, so it's not going to be the best at guarding against heavy blunt objects. But it also has the impale quality. And it has a bonus 1 damage per slicing unarmored targets. You're not sure what this is, but it's some kind of little like sword knife.
Okay.
So, also at this point, you will have noticed that your hands are caked in blood, and there is old dried blood all across your armor, which your armor is looking like it's seen better days. There are a few holes, this and there. Nothing that would compromise it. It just looks a lot more rough than you remember it. Matter of fact, the last thing you remember is, well, we'll get to that. Before you get any too much further into your situation, I need you to make a cool test for me.
That's a 32 out of 39.
Okay, so you barely passed it. So you don't freak out, but you're almost there. It's bizarre. You can't remember what you were doing 5 minutes ago, but you can remember what you were doing a month ago. You were at your house. You were helping your father toll the bridge nearby the town Sealburg. You've lived here your entire life, and you know that something was going on. There was a war happening. There was someone local that was starting to rally troops. But that's the last thing you remember. You don't remember much else. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what woods you're in. You're just running, or at least you were running. You have no idea what happened to you, and you're starting to panic a little bit, but you managed to kind of stay calm long enough to start hearing some rather interesting sounds coming from on ahead.
I will pick back up with like a, we'll say like a jog.
Okay.
Going towards where these sounds are.
Okay. Now, do you want to approach this? So it sounds like there might be a scuffle going on up ahead. Would you approach this stealthily, or are you just starting to just kind of jog in that direction?
How far ahead would it be?
So it's it's hard to tell in the woods. The woods are a little bit thick here, and you have no idea where you're at. But you get the idea that it's maybe 100 feet ahead of you.
Yeah, I will kind of stealthily try to stealthily.
Okay, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
Stealth. That is a 31 out of 27.
Okay, so you do not succeed. It would be a challenging test, so you're not going to get any bonuses to help you succeed for this one, just because of how panicked you are and what's going on. Mm-hmm. But as far as you know, you may actually be more stealth than you realize, because I have to roll for perception to anybody that might see you. So let's say that you're heading in the direction of the noise. At this point, we're going to flash away from you, Mr. Seamus, as we venture back to our faithful heroes, hopefully. So, Marius, how far back were you?
I don't remember my exact distance.
Okay.
From
I don't think we
Catch.
ever determined exact distance. So, how far ahead do you think Catch was from you in your mind?
I thought he was at least within eyesight, but
Okay.
maybe like, I don't know, 40 feet. You know,
Okay.
a fair amount of distance.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Because he was kind of angsty and kind of
Yeah.
running off. So,
Yeah.
we'll say that you're about 40 feet behind you. So, what is the pecking order? Are you still holding Suna?
Yeah. I believe it was Catch and Seek up front, and then myself and Suna.
Yeah.
Me carrying Suna, and then kind of watching after Abby as she.
Okay, so
along.
Abby would be kind of behind you, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, real close to me and her mother.
All right. So you see, as you're walking, you're trying to catch up with Catch, and you see him just suddenly freeze. He freezes in place.
Okay,
And
I stop.
Okay, you stop.
Yeah.
He starts looking over. He looks to his right, and the color, even from this distance, just drains from his face. And you see his hand slowly inching down towards the pistol, the loaded pistol that he has. Mm-hmm. Seek is hair standing up on ends, just looking in both directions, looking to the right and left of the path that you're on, the path back to Sealburg, into the woods. And what would you like to do from here?
I'll probably I would probably look at Miss Suna. Is her last name Glascom? Is it Glascom?
Glasner.
Glasner. Okay. I'll probably look at Miss Suna and then I'd be like, "Must be quiet, ma'am," and kind of look at her with intensity to make sure that she knows the situation could be dire if I see him up there.
As soon as you say that, she's starting to kind of panic a little bit again. Are you going to put her down, or are you still holding her?
I'm still holding her right now. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna be looking at her, very, very intensely, and being, be like, I'm gonna sit you down, ma'am, but you must be quiet.
All right. At
Stay
this
close.
point, Abby's actually walking past you. She has no idea what's going on.
Okay, I set her down. I set it down as soon, and I grab Abby.
Okay, and she kind of, and as soon as she does that, you hear some rustling up ahead, and Catch draws his pistol, and I need both you and Seamus to roll initiative.
Oh.
All right, and this is a D10, right?
It's so what we're gonna do is roll a D10 and then add your initiative bonus.
Okay.
And then tell me what you got.
I got a 4.
That's plus your initiative?
That's plus my initiative, yeah.
Oh, jeez,
I rolled
dude.
2. Rolled 2 and got plus 2,
Oh,
So,
man.
4.
I rolled a 10.
Total?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So we're entering combat at this point. The beastmen have been spooked, and their trap has gone just as planned.
Oh, geez.
So
Oh, geez.
I'll be kind of playing as Catch, just for this, just to kind of get us through this, and then we'll see where this goes. So Catch is actually the first to go, and from his vantage point, he can see more of the battlefield than you guys can, obviously, because he's in the center of it. So the gore that is looking at him comes busting out of the woods to his right, and he has a shield, and it looks to be some kind of blunt, almost like club that he's wielding as well. The shield has got kind of this terrible symbols etched into it. It looks like maybe human skin has been stretched across it. Fresh skin at that. There's fresh blood dripping from it. It's a horrifying sight. For just so you know, Mr. Seamus, beastmen are, at least these two gores, at least look very goat-like, almost like goat men. Cloven hooves, heavily furred. They have like almost tattered looking like man flesh loincloths. They have some kind of beaten mail that they may have picked up off of dead bodies that they've come of hammered together, and it encompasses most of their chest and their arms. But you get the idea that it doesn't look very effective, but you know from experience, Marius, that their hides can be rather tough. Mm-hmm. So the gore to his right with the shield and the club kind of bursts out of the woods and is kind of clamoring towards him. And off to his left, a hound, one of the hounds you guys have seen earlier, who chased you all the way to the hovel out in the woods, comes bursting out of the other side simultaneously. The hound has a large, gnarly-looking horn growing out of the top of its head, and it's massive. These things are the size of almost a horse. That's how big they are. They have kind of like nasty greenish pigment to their skin. Underneath, very matted and almost mangy fur. And it just looks disgusting. This hound bursts out of the woods, lunging towards him. And Catch is going to attempt to blow its head off before it gets to him.
Oh, yeah.
And believe it or not, the first crit I've ever rolled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, man. Of course, playing as him, I roll a crit.
Yeah, look at that crit table, bro.
Oh, man. Okay. So let's go ahead and roll that. All right. Okay. So he draws the pistol, goes to shoot, and make sure I got all this right. I can't find it. Oh, well. So, for the sake of what's happening right here, he did so much damage, it was incredible. Just for narrative purposes, since I can't find that damn table right now, or not the table, I can't find the conditions right now, we're going to say that he just takes the head clean off, and one blow, the hound just limps. It goes limp mid-flight, kind of comes sailing over him. He ducks, and it actually careens into the beastman with the shield, who kind of blocks the bulk of it with his shield, takes it. And just to show how incredibly strong this gore is, the hound probably easily weighs 300 pounds or more. He catches it on the edge of his shield and just kind of sloughs it off to the side, almost pitching it over himself. Looks like with relative ease as he gets ready to possibly run in for Catch. Now, it is, however, the Beastman's turn, the Gore's turn. So he is going to run in and attempt to club Catch over the top of the head, which he does.
Question.
Yes.
Did Seek get a turn?
Seek would technically get a turn. We'll say that seeing this happen, we'll have Seek interpose himself between Catch and the Beastman. Maybe kind of try to trip him up. So I'll give myself a disadvantage on the roll then.
All right.
He still hits. Oh yeah. Finally. So, the Beastman brings down his club, and he actually hits Catch over the top of the head. I rolled my second critical of the night.
No!
Rolled a 22.
Jesus.
He smacks him on top of the head, and let's look at that critical table. He hits Catch so hard that he actually loses sight. He's blinded. He hits him so hard he just crumples to the ground. He's not prone, but he's hunched over and he's looking in. He's covering his eyes right now, and he took massive damage. You just see blood starting to pour over the top of his head, and it's not looking good for Catch right now.
Oh God.
Hopefully I don't kill him while he's not here.
Just a friendly reminder, he does have, his fate and
he does.
stuff.
You're right, he does. That's interesting.
Just remember that.
It's too bad he's not here to use it.
Oh,
man. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so he takes quite a bit of damage. I'm going to keep track of the damage.
All right.
At the same time, that's the end of the Gore's turn. Now, 2 more hounds come bursting out of the woods, and they're charging in your direction, Marius.
Oh, gee.
There's a hound that looks like it has 2 tusks growing out the side of its face. It looks horrifying. And then the other hound has almost like scales It almost looks partly reptilian across its snout and over its eyes. It definitely has a little bit of a more bizarre look, but they still have the same overall matted fur, kind of greenish tint to their skin underneath, and slathering jaws. They're both running towards you, and they're both going to attempt to take your head off. So how would you like to defend yourself, sir?
All right, are they attacking right now?
Yes, they're going to attack you one after the other.
Okay, I would use my my weapon strength.
You can use your pick? Okay.
Yeah, my pick.
Go ahead and roll for defense against the first hound.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be a failure. Let's see here. I rolled a 56 and I have a 44 for melee two-hand.
Okay. So the first hound, which is the hound with the tusk jutting out of the side, comes careening towards you. It leaps through the air and digs in deep into your left shoulder, over your pick, over your guard.
Oh.
And it you had how many degrees of failure?
Technically, more one. I had 50.
One.
I rolled
One.
a
Okay.
56. Yeah.
So you take 7 wounds.
Jesus.
Which you can subtract your toughness from it.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. What's my toughness? 3. Okay.
So how many is that? Just 3 wounds for you?
Yeah, it's 4 wounds.
4 wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just took 4 wounds from the first warhound as it lunges past, taking a chunk out of your shoulder. Not a huge chunk, but definitely blood drawn and your clothes kind of torn as it lunges over you. And as it does pass over you, it leaps over Abby and on the other side of where Suna is as well. So it's actually behind you, facing them now, as it kind of skids around and looks at them. And now the second hound is going to make a attack towards you. Go ahead and roll for defense again.
Okay. Ooh, that's going to be a failure too. 59, and I have 44 weapon strength. So
Okay.
1 degree.
So this one, I actually failed miserably on the roll. And you bring the pick up in time, and the jaws clamp around the haft of the pick, and you just kind of press it back and throw it back, and it wasn't successful in biting into your flesh, even though it's looking like it wants to very badly. And it's kind of hunched and staring at you dead in the eyes. You do, however, since you did defend yourself, you do get a 1 point of momentum, so plus 10 to your rolls from here on.
Okay.
Now, after that happened, it is your turn, Marius. What would you like to do? So the scene before you right now is, it looks like Catch is in a bad spot. It looks like his dog may or may not try to help him in the next round, but he's not looking very good. In front of you, there is a Chaos Warhound engaged with you, actively slathering jaws. You've just kind of fended it off. Behind you, there's a woman screaming and a child that is just almost psyche is shattered at this point at the events of the past day. And she's kind of just curled up next to her mother's leg, the one that's bleeding actively now as she's kind of pacing. And there's a dog behind them that you hear growling and ready to rend them limb from limb.
Another glorious day in Nuln, huh?
It's not Nuln. You're in Wissenland, you bastard.
Wissenland, sorry.
Wissenland.
Wissenland. All right. So the warhound that bit me and then kind of jumped over me, I guess.
Yes.
So is directly behind me.
He's behind you, but he's there's distance. You'd have to move to get to him. And if you move, the one in front of you will attempt to stop you and possibly eat you.
Okay. Gee. All right. So this, God help me. This is what Marius would do. He would roleplay. I'm gonna roleplay this. He would try to put himself between him and the warhound that is attacking the women and children.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Now, I will
make your
say
reaction.
the hound hasn't attacked them yet. It just looks like it's going to.
Yeah. But I'm assuming it would. I don't know. I mean, that's Marius. I think would. Yeah.
I will also say this: the one behind you not only is going to attack you, but if you show your back to it, it might attack them as well.
All right.
You do you.
Well,
You do you.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. I'll attack the one in front of me.
Okay. Go ahead and roll attack. You do get your plus 10 momentum.
Okay.
It's going to attempt to dodge your blow.
All right. So my success rating right now is at a 54, and I rolled a 23. So
ooh, 3 success. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll call that 3 successes.
Okay.
How much damage does your pick do?
So my pick does 5. It has the damage and impale quality.
Okay.
And my strength is at 4.
Okay, so it does 9 plus the damaging quality lets you, if you want to use the second number on your die, you can use that as your success level.
Okay.
If you hit, which you will hit on this. Yeah. So is it higher than 2?
It would be 3 actually, 23. So it'd be 3 degrees.
So we'll use that. So 3 plus 9, so 12. Oh man, 12 wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this instant, you actually do more than that. You actually bring the pick down, and 23. Let me see which part of the body that is, real quick. That would be a 32. So you bring it into the right leg as this thing kind of lunges up again. You sink the pick deep through the leg, and it enters into the actual body for a grand total of 15 wounds.
Oh yeah.
Which, let me see how much health this thing has. So you actually skewer this thing. It goes all the way through, and you cleave into the heart.
Okay.
So you plunge the pick deep inside of it, and it kind of yelps and falls limp. The tusks just dangling over the pick. Its tongue kind of lolls over across your hand. Its long, gnarly looking tongue, and it's definitely dead. You feel it just all the life just rushes out of it, and a horrible smell as well begins wafting out of this thing as the blood seems to have some kind of disgusting aspects to it as it washes across your hands.
Okay.
So that's another hound down. And you also will gain another point of momentum for killing it. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Can I still make movement?
Yes, so you still have your movement now. So you can try to interpose yourself with the hound if you'd like.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd like to do. I'd probably rush over and try to get in between the hound and the women and the women.
So I'm going to say that you spin around, and Suna is sitting there, and she looks like Suna is actually kind of clutching something by her side, and you kind of push past her and Abby, as Abby's just kind of on the ground, and the hound immediately looks up at you. It's not afraid of you at all. It already has a taste for your flesh at this, in fact.
Oh, jeez. All right.
And it just kind of stares you dead in the eye as you square off.
I look at it and I go, "Come on, Fido," and give a little trash talk to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just kind of snorts at you. Is that going to be the end of your turn?
Yeah, that'd be the end of my turn.
Okay. So as your turn ends, you hear some noise behind you from the woods where the hounds came from, and you hear an all too familiar braying sound of possibly another beastman at a full run coming out of the woods.
Okay.
But you can't see him because your back's turned to him.
All right.
So you just hear it.
Okay.
All right. Now we go. That is the end of the round. We go to the top of the round. Mr. Seamus.
Yes.
You have made it to the point where you can see there's something going on up ahead, and it looks like there might be a path. And you see that there's a bloody brawl opened up between what looks to be some kind of humans and then some kind of giant furred creatures and possibly some kind of wolves. You're not sure, really, from this distance. If you want, you could get closer, or you could take your time getting there, and you might not make it there this round.
I will get closer.
Okay. So the point, are you going to try to go about this in a roundabout way, or are you just going to go straight towards the conflict?
Could I see that there's the humanoid, the human people that I think are humans?
Go ahead and make a, from this distance, make an average perception check.
Okay.
So that's plus 20.
So it was perception. So plus 20. So it was plus 20. It was a 48 out of 61.
Okay, yeah. So you easily see this. You can see that definitely there are beastmen up ahead, and they are certainly engaged with what appears to be a human. Who will, to your right, there is a human and some kind of small dog engaged with a large gore. That you have quite a bit of experience with beastmen yourself. Definitely hunting them, or not necessarily hunting them, surviving attacks from them. And you're getting glimpses, now that you're seeing beastmen again, you're getting more glimpses of your memory back. And you remember some kind of large-scale, possibly battle with a large group of beastmen at some point. You can see that there's a gore with, it appears to be a shield and some kind of crude cudgel. The man over there is looking pretty worse for wear. Then off to your left, you see it appears to be some kind of maybe miner who looks like he's fended off a beast, some kind of warhound that the beastmen to use. There's one laying dead close by, and he appears to be interposing himself between another warhound and a woman and child. But behind them, that they can't see, you see another gore emerging from the woods and staring straight at the woman and child. And this one has a interesting flail in his hands, and he's winding it up, and it looks like there might be a massive, almost like human skull at the end of it, and it has like spikes driven through it, and he's just kind of starting to wind it up, starting to So which direction would you like to go to get a better view?
I will go to the right if I can see that person laying on the ground really hurts.
Okay. So I'm going to say you start heading off to the right. You get within range if you want to use your crossbow. You easily do. You're still in the wooded area, so you're not going to be able to see the entire battlefield all at once. You just had a pretty good perception test from where you were at. But from this angle, you can see you get glimpses of the beastmen. It might be a difficult shot, but the woods actually make a break to your left, and you actually have a halfway decent shot against the beastmen emerging from the woods on that side, or maybe even an okay shot at the warhound as he's kind of tucked into the woods, not that far from you.
Okay. If I have a better shot at the one coming out of the woods on the left, I will take that shot.
Okay. go ahead and roll. And he has no idea you're there. So you're actually technically going to get a surprise condition on him. So that'll be, you know what, I'm just going to throw it out there. Let me see, because I don't think I have that table. I don't know where the hell it went. I had it ready, and now I don't. So surprise, blah, blah, blah. Okay, plus 20. We'll give you. Okay. I'm going to give you a plus 20 to hit.
All right. This is am I rolling a D100?
Yeah. Roll a D100. Ballistic skill plus your crossbow skill plus your plus 20. So
okay,
it's going to be quite a bit, I'm sure.
It is. So I rolled a 13.
Oh wow!
And with that plus 20, it's a 46. So that would be a 66.
Okay, so 13, so 60, so 6 degrees of success. Plus your crossbow does 9 damage, if I remember correctly.
It does. It does 9 damage, and it impales.
so that's 15 wounds. And what you rolled a 13?
Yeah, I rolled a 13.
Okay. That is what would be a 31, which makes that okay. The right arm, similar to Marius's feat that you did not witness. You aim the crossbow, you steady it, and you take the shot. The bolt flies through the woods and takes the beastman, who's kind of starting to charge up his flail, comes through and carves a bloody rend through his right shoulder, and his grip almost slackens a little bit on the flail, and he gives out a bleat, almost like a goat-like bleat grunt kind of combination. It's rather unnerving. Blood spills across the side as you do significant damage to him. You roll. It was 15 damage. So he's hurting badly, very, very badly. You can see he's visibly clutching the wound now, and he is he's looking from where the bolt came from. Is that going to end your turn?
Yeah, if I am out of movements, that will end my turn.
Okay. Now, you can still see the other gore. You just don't have a good shot at him through the woods. Mm-hmm. So you get the idea that if you wanted to shift position a little bit, you'd probably have a better shot at the one that is attacking the man by himself, possibly on your next turn. So,
okay.
That will end Seamus's turn. Now it is the Hound's turn. Marius, I think you know what this Hound's going to do.
It's going to run away.
Oh, man, I skipped Catch.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So Catch is actually blinded. So I'm going to use one of his resolve points. Not the resilience, the resolve, the ones that refresh. And remove the blinded condition. What was that?
Would you explain what resolve does one more time?
Okay. So resolve is kind of like your inner determination. It's paired with resilience. You can use resilience to pass a test no matter what. You can use resolve to do several other things. But one of the useful ones in combat is to use it to make a effect go away. You can make the effect of a critical go away for a round. Similar things like that. But you can just make a condition go away, period. So I'm going to make the blinded condition just go away. So through his sheer willpower, Ketch is going to shake his head, and he's going to be able to see enough to look up. And he's at close range, very close range. Let me see. I am letting you guys use bonus actions to try to reload. So let's see if he can. He can't. He's fumbling with the pistol. He can't quite feed in the round and chamber what he needs to. So as he's fumbling with it, he kind of just John Wick style puts it back in his pants and draws his dagger, and he's going to make a lunge at the beastman. The beastman easily takes his shield up, smacks the dagger away, and it is now the gore's turn, and he is going to once again club Catch over the top of the head, and Catch just drops. He's unconscious.
Oh, gee.
He drops, and the dog, Seek, tries to take a bite out of the gore, and the gore not only deftly dodges this, but then he kicks Seek across the path into the woods, and you hear Seek just kind of go quiet.
Oh, you bastard.
Not a very good round. For the gore's movement, for his free action, I should say, he's going to grab a hold of Catch, sling them over his shoulder, and he kind of growls at the other gore and starts taking off to the opposite side of the woods at a full run.
Okay.
Now it is the Hound's turn. And once again, Marius, you do know what this Hound's going to do.
Yeah. All right.
He's lunging for you.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll defense.
Okay. All right. So I add my 2 successes, or my 2
Yes, so you get a plus 20.
Right? Okay. So that would make it 64 for my defense, and I rolled a 5.
Oh wow! Okay, so you easily. Do you want to maybe embellish how you do this? How you defend yourself?
I would say like maybe the Hound is like trying to jump at me with its teeth kind of going for my neck, and right when it's like in midair, I managed to get my the top of my pick, not the sharp end, but like where it kind of curves
the
top,
flat. Yeah,
and I kind of just like jam it right in its mouth and just kind of push it down onto the ground, kind of stopping its attack.
Awesome. Yeah, I like it. It's in, and I'm going to say it's almost pinned there in place right now.
All right.
And it's not going to be able to move until you let it go or you attempt to do something else.
Okay.
All right. So that is the Hound's turn, and it's still flailing around. And you actually see Suna start. You can kind of through your side vision, you see her try to scoop up Abby, and she's trying to actually hobble away from what's going on. She's trying to seek shelter in the woods.
Okay. Can I? This is not my turn, so I can't say anything, right?
No, you still can. Okay.
Well,
actually, wait. It's actually your turn now. So,
is this like an action or just kind of just? I didn't know the rules on.
For the pin? No, I'm going to say this just because
first.
you had such a great success on your defense that it's not an action. It's just the current state of what you have it in right now.
Okay, but as far as speaking, like if I'm trying to,
that'd be like a free action, which you get
action.
one.
Okay. I'd probably quite curtly yell, Miss Suna, and do not move from my presence.
Okay.
And I'll gonna attack this warhound.
Okay.
Because I don't see I guess well, I know it's there, but I didn't see it. I guess so.
Nope.
I'm gonna attack this warhound.
You kind of heard some rustling, and you heard the bleat for sure, and you did just hear the massive the roar earlier, but it sounded farther off. Okay. So you know something's behind you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to attack this warhound.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack for me.
Okay. All right. So I'm at a 74 right now for success, and I rolled a 41.
Oh, three?
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually rolled good, but it didn't matter. You just barely skimmed that one out.
Whew.
So you go ahead and you said you rolled a 41?
41. So that would be
okay. Yeah, so that's a 14. Blah, blah, blah.
9 points of damage.
All right.
Plus my success.
Left arm. Okay. So 9 plus... So you do 10... Well, you know what? You can use your... Since you have the damaging trait, this would technically just be 1 success level. But you can use the 4. Or no, you rolled a 41.
So I rolled a 41.
Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's the same. So, yeah. So it's 1 success level, so you do 10 damage. As you bring the pick up and bring it back down, and it enters on the left side of the hound's body, kind of into the torso, for about 10 damage. You see that it has a hard time piercing completely. You don't get as good of a swing from kind of the angle you're at, and it doesn't quite go as deep as you thought it would into the as you did with the last hound, the previous hound. But you still do pretty significant damage to it. Okay. It definitely yelps and is not looking good at all, and it has almost a new respect for you.
Okay.
It kind of there's more blood coalescing out of the wound as you pull it back out, and it looks like it's backing away.
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Is it backing? It's not its turn, so I guess it can't back away. So
no, it's still engaged with you.
Is there any way I can kind of turn a little bit without showing my back?
Are you trying to get a glance at Suna?
Yeah, to try to glance at Suna or whatever's behind me. Just kind of
I could say you could easily kind of look over, and you see that Suna is after what you yelled, she's kind of frozen in place, but you see further past her, she's locked eyes with this other gore who's once again now starting to spin up his flail, and he's looking right at her.
Oh God! All right.
All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's probably the end of my turn. Yeah.
Okay. So, the gore now. It's his turn. And he is going to run and attempt to take Masuna's head off.
Oh, Jesus.
He runs straight at her, bleeding. He couldn't see. I rolled for perception. He couldn't see where the bolt came from. So you're still technically hidden, Seamus.
Nice.
And let's see, she's going to attempt to dodge with her broken leg.
Do it.
And she actually barely ducks out of the way.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, it skims over the top of her head. It's almost out of an animal reflex than it is actual deftly dodging of any kind. She kind of, and as you see her do that, her hand that was fumbling at its side, something you can see the Seamus. I'm assuming that Marius's attention has been refocused back to the hound.
Yeah.
So Seamus, you see her hand kind of go down low, and she, from the angle you're at, you don't see exactly what happens, but suddenly the gore is moving in again to attempt to maybe smack her again. And as it is, he lets out a and falls over across the top of her and falls down on top of her, and he stops moving. He just kind of goes limp. And she's kind of just struggling underneath him, cursing and crying and screaming. And that's the end of her turn.
Ooh.
Oh.
Now, it is Seamus's turn.
All right. So I can now. Can I see the gore that was standing over the gentleman that has been knocked down?
Okay. So, the scene as it is now, the gore to your right, the one that had clubbed the gentleman down, you did witness that happen. You saw him bring down the club again. You saw him snatch him up and take off through the woods. You can kind of see, if you wanted to, if you tried to pursue, you might be able to get a good enough shot against him. But to your left, you see the gore that you just put a bolt in fall down on top of the woman, and she's screaming and crying, and the little girl by her side is trying to tug her out from underneath him. And then behind them, you see this grizzled miner who's got a chunk missing out of his shoulder, squaring off against this hound, whom he has defended himself so far, but who knows if it will still hold up. What would you like to do?
Do I have a clean shot at that hound?
I would say if you stepped out of the woods, you would have a better shot.
Okay.
Or if you stood in the woods, you could still stay in the woods, and you do have momentum on your side, so you still have a +10 no matter what.
I'll step out of the woods.
Okay. For stepping out of the woods, I'm going to give you a +20 total, not just 30. So +20 total. You get an additional 10, basically. And if you want to take your shot, go ahead.
I'm going to take this shot.
Oh, I forgot to have you reload.
Oh, yeah. Do I need bonus action to reload?
Yeah, bonus action, and reloads do not have momentum behind them. So see if you can reload your bolt.
D100.
Yes, D100.
Yeah. Oof. That is going to be 2 degrees of failure.
Okay, so you go to pull back on the crossbow, and it seems to be maybe a little gummed up. You don't know when's the last time it's been serviced. As a matter of fact, it looks a little bit more worn than you remember, and you just can't quite pull it all the way.
Damn.
So the crossbow is not going to be of use this round. You could. Now I'm going to say that you attempted to do this before you walked out into the woods. It's gummed up. You could stay where you are, hunker down, and use an action to try to reload it. And if you score more than 1 success level, I'll let you reload and fire. Or you could try to do something else. You could scream at one of them, or just be creative. You tell me what you'd like to do.
It looks as that. It's kind of well taken care of.
What was that? You kind of broke up for a second.
Like miner kind of has that handle.
Yeah, your mic's breaking up a little bit, man. I can't hear you that well.
Hello?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. Does it look like the miner has that hound like under control?
He's squared off with him. They're both bleeding. That's what you can see. They're both actively bleeding. The hound looks a little bit worse off than him.
I will scream at it, trying to get its attention.
Okay.
I was like, "Hey, you ugly dog, over here."
Go ahead and roll. You know what? Go ahead and roll me an intimidation.
Okay. That is...
And I'll give you your modifiers on this because it's almost like an attack.
Okay. So that is, I rolled a 66. It's going to be a failure.
Okay. Well, it definitely knows you're there now. So you scream at it. You're like, hey, over here. So it knows that there's another human there. It looks up and it kind of snorts at you, but then it quickly looks back to Marius, excuse me. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
If I cannot move closer to the woman, then yeah, that'll be it.
You can get closer if you wanted to. You could probably get to her if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll get to her.
Okay, so you're running in behind him. I'm assuming you sling the crossbow over your shoulder, and you're running to the woman and the beastman that's on top of her. And I'm going to say that's where your turn ends. So then we go to Marius. It is your turn. Actually, you know what? It's the hound's turn. You're right.
Yeah.
Got my order a little mixed up. So the hound, this is the one with the scales across its face. You've already punctured it. It looks a little rough, but it also looks really upset at you.
All right.
So it is going to attempt to once again kill you.
All right.
Go ahead and roll for defense.
Okay. All right. So I got 1 degree of success. I have 84, and I rolled a 72.
It actually beat you on this.
Oh, no.
It got 2 degrees of success. So the Hound, despite your momentum, despite it, you go to bring the pick up once again to try to snap its jaws around it, and it actually remembers what you did, and it ducks underneath, and actually, let's see where it hits you. It actually doesn't duck underneath. It jumps above and clamps the jaws around the side of your head.
Oh.
And crunches in, but reflexively you push up so it doesn't get to dig in as much. But it does, however, do 8 wounds, which you can subtract your toughness bonus.
Okay.
So would that be 5?
4.
4 wounds?
Yeah.
Okay. So it does 4 wounds. As it scrapes, there's some blood trickling from the sides of your head as the flesh peels off, and the breath is horrendous. And you can feel as you push it off of you, the kind of almost reptilian tongue that it has kind of digs in and licks into one of the wounds that its teeth pulled through the side of your face as you push it away.
All right.
And that is the end of the Hound's turn. And it slumps back, and and now that it's got even more of a taste for your blood, it's almost going into a frenzy.
Okay.
So your momentum has been taken from you, Marius. Yes. What would you like to do?
I'm going to attack this bastard.
Okay. You're going to attempt to dodge.
Okay. So my melee is 44, and I rolled a 13.
Okay. You beat it by 2.
All right.
Lucky bastard, because I rolled really low, but you beat it by 2 degrees of success.
Yeah.
So how much is that?
It's at least 9 damage.
Okay, so it's not going to matter then. It's not going to matter. Okay. How do you kill this thing?
I want to say I just do a big overhanded swing and drive my pick at the top of its head, and it pierces down into it and slams it into the ground.
Yes. Yes.
And then with just a quick motion, I pull it back out.
Oh yeah. So you definitely you cleave it down, and it gives out one last yelp as the spike comes driving down through the skull, closes the jaw that still has your blood dripping from it, and smacks into the ground, and it just kind of goes limp on all fours, and it's just laying there, obviously dead. Blood splatters. Even more blood is caked across you. Some of it your own now, and possibly gets over your shoulder onto hopefully Seamus. I want him to be a little more bloody too.
Okay. So I turn around after this. Marius, I would probably say he's quite upset at this point. He got attacked in the face.
Yes.
That's his moneymaker.
Yep.
So he's quite perturbed. So when I'm looking at Suna and the Beastman,
yes.
Can I tell if the Beastman is unconscious? Is he unconscious?
So now that we're technically out of combat, unless Seamus, it would technically, well, no, it'd be the Gore's turn. He's getting even further away. Seamus, if you want, you can attempt to reload and go after him, and you might have a shot. Maybe it would be a very difficult shot, but would you like to attempt it?
Yeah, I'll attempt it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll to reload.
Okay. That is a 29 out of, if I use my ballistic skill, it's a 46.
Okay, so I'm going to say you easily with that. as your free action. You reload the crossbow, and if you run towards the beastman, you can kind of see him. He's moving quick, much quicker than you were even moments before through the woods. Beastmen have a knack for traversing wooded areas, and he is probably 60, no, he's probably farther than that. He's probably about 80 feet from you. So not only are you shooting into the woods, but you're also shooting at a target moving at high speed. So it's going to be a difficult shot. So that's going to be at a -20 if you take this shot.
I will give it a go.
Okay, go ahead. And wait, this is also slightly out of your range. So it's past the 60 feet, so it's actually going to be a very hard shot. So it's going to be at -30.
Oh. I will hold off then.
Okay.
I'm going to hold the crossbow up. Okay. And judge that I won't be able to. It's not worth the risk of losing the bolt. Okay.
All right. So you look down the ways, and you can see that just from your experience, you're pretty good with the crossbow. You've had a lot of experience shooting it, and of course hunting and whatnot. As you and your family don't tend to go into town that often, but you judge that shot would be something a experienced sniper might make, and that you are definitely not as of yet. So you decide to save the bolt, and we are now going to be out of initiative. So feel free to do as you like at this point.
I'll turn back around to the woman and child and see if I can get the attention of the miner to get the beastman off of her.
Okay. Marius, do you want to go ahead and describe yourself to Seamus, just so he knows what you look like?
Yeah. So I'm 25, 5'8". I got gray hair, kind of longer hair, kind of like in a man bun, I guess. Or
Did we ever decide what color your hair was before?
I think so. I think we just said it was gray. Thematically, it changed gray. I remember that we were talking about that. We discussed it, not on the show.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, but I've got blue eyes. Okay. I wear very plain clothing, very peasant-like clothing, just kind of like shirt and kind of like brown pants, like a kind of a cream-colored shirt, and then kind of just brown pants and just kind of like peasant shoes. I'm very poor, so that's what I look like. I got I have a cloak as well, but it's in my sack, my little sack with some other bits and bobbles. So that's what my character looks like.
Okay. So you see this man, this tall man, and he looks just about as bad as you do. You're not sure what he's doing here. I would say that you're probably a little wary of strangers after what's happened to you today.
Yeah.
But he's motioning for you to look after Suna and Abby.
All right. So I kind of nod at him. I'm still very upset at this moment. And I just kind of nod in acknowledgement, and I turn, looking at Masuna and Abby and the Beastman. Is she still struggling to get out?
Yes, she is still trying to claw her way out from underneath. You get the sense that this Beastman is definitely dead. It's not moving.
Okay.
And if it is in fact alive, it's the best possum act you've ever seen. But okay. In its massive bulk, which it's big. I mean, it's a large gore. The rack of horns across its head are some of the most big curling horns you've seen on a beastman before. And its weapon is just kind of clattered by its side, just kind of just laying there. It has almost a grayish tint to its fur. The arms, however, are bare and look almost like that of just a regular person, a regular man. It's kind of unnerving.
Okay.
If you like, you could probably try to peel him off of her.
Yeah. So I kind of stomp over there, in like a fast walk. I look at Masuna, I look at Masuna, I look at the child, I kind of say to myself, please be alive. And I look at the Beastman. Is it dead? Is it definitely dead?
It's as you get closer, it's dead. Yeah.
Okay.
It's for sure dead.
I grab it with one of my arms by the horn.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of yank it off of them.
Oh yeah. With your strength, I won't even need a roll. Even as big as this thing is, you still easily can maybe not pick it up off of her, but easily shift it off of her so she can kind of scrabble out from underneath.
Okay. I look at the child and I say, look away, love. And I take out the rusty auto sword and I cut off its head.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, Abby is horrified. She's like, oh, Mr. Wolf! and then Suna's like, oh dear God! And she covers Abby's eyes, and they're kind of just looking away from what you're doing. I mean, it's going to take you with that rusty sword. Go ahead and roll a strength check for me.
Yeah, let me roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Take it. Any kind of advantage here? I mean, it's not moving.
Oh no! Oh, definitely not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me see here. Come on, dice. Yeah. I rolled a 19. I've got 40 strength.
Okay, so ironically, the rusty sword doesn't snap in half when it hits the spine. You easily in one deft cut just thunk, almost like an executioner, straight through. It's clean, straight through into the dirt, and the head comes off. It's big, it's the size of like probably a cow's skull. This beastman was very large, so
okay. Do I have any kind of? I don't think I have an extra sack, do I?
No, you don't have an extra sack.
Damn it.
I would say that if you wanted, are you trying to take it with you?
Try to take it with me.
Okay. I would say that you could probably fashion some kind of almost like an over the shoulder like sling bag of some kind.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, and probably nothing that's going to hold up very well, but it'd be enough to at least tether the severed beastman head that you want to take to town with you.
Very upset. My face was injured during this fight.
Yeah.
And I got triggered.
Okay. So I'm going to say you probably wrap the cord around its horns, and you could sling it over your shoulder. Now I will say while you're kind of making this sling, because it's going to take you a minute or two to kind of get this cord kind of wrapped tight together to try to take this head with you. What are you doing, Seamus?
I am watching, and I will say to him, "Did you need to do that in front of the women and kids?"
I kind of glance up at him. I appreciate the help, sir, but I don't care if it sings. You're probably right. It's probably something I shouldn't have done. But I turn back to the woman and child. Well, apologies. I try to look kind and charming.
Mm-hmm. Which you are a horrifying sight. I mean, you're covered in just blood and filth,
wounds. Yeah.
Yes. Bleeding from your head now.
I try to give him a crooked smile, like a charming smile.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make me a charm roll.
Charm roll. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got here. That is a 6 out of 37.
Oh, my Lord. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Despite your appearance, there's something just overly comforting about your presence, especially around women. I don't know what it is about you, but somehow you just know how to strike deep into Miss Suna's heart. She just kind of, thank God you're here, Mr. Wolf. And she just kind of starts to kind of stand up, and her leg is looking pretty rough, a little even more rough than it was before. It's getting pretty gnarly actually, and Abby's she's a little more reassured by the smile. She's like, Mr. Wolf, are we ever gonna get back to town?
I look at her and be like, yes, little lady. We're definitely going to make it back to town. I look towards the gentleman who helped us out. And Sigma be praised. You really saved us back there. Well, what's your name, friend?
My name's Seamus McGreedy. Hi. Glad to meet you, mate. What's yours?
That's Marius Wolf. Just a prospector. I happened to find myself in a very odd predicament over the past couple of days. Kind of chuckles.
Now, at the mention of your name, McGreedy, Suna looks up. Did you say McGreedy, sir?
Aye, lass. Seamus McGreedy. You heard the name before?
I do not recognize you, but I've heard of your kin.
Aye. There are a couple people out there. Family used to be somewhat popular.
Are you from Sealburg?
I am. Me and my family are from Sealburg. Are you from Sealburg, man?
I've lived there all my life, sir. I've never seen you.
Simply don't spend most of my days in the city. I'm just a toll keeper. Spend most of my time out in the woods.
The toll's been empty for years, sir.
I don't always want to be a toll keeper. I want to be just move up in this position. I want to be is it a road warrior?
Road warden, I believe.
Yeah,
road
warrior would be badass.
I want to be a road warden.
But sir, I don't understand. And she's just kind of looking at you, very, very mistrusting now.
Ooh.
Very mistrusting. From what you're saying, she has no idea who you are, and you're claiming to be from Sealburg. On the same token, you don't recognize her at all, Seamus. And you have been to town. I mean, you grew up nearby. You guys would go into town and barter for goods and whatnot. You've never seen this woman or this child in your entire life.
Don't recall seeing you around whenever I make trips into town, man.
And she just kind of clutches Abby and says, "Sir, I do not know you, and I don't know why you're pretending to be from Sealburg, but I thank you for your aid nonetheless." And she's going to start trying to hobble back down the path towards town.
I will shrug my shoulders and see if this Marius needs any help with What's decapitating he's doing?
Okay, so you finished decapitating them and you finished wrapping the cord and all that, Marius.
Uh-huh.
Now, while you're doing this, Marius, you notice the body of the gore that you just defaced. Mm-hmm. He's wearing the standard, almost disgusting man flesh loincloth of that you've seen on the previous beastmen you've encountered this day. And you notice there's something sticking out of his side.
Okay.
Would you like a closer look?
Yes.
Okay. So, beastmen are into weird things, and you're not sure what you're looking at, but you look over at the side, and it looks like the hilt of something. Looks like the hilt of maybe like a dagger or a small sword. It's been plunged into his side. The hilt itself looks like it's just standard wrapped leather, but on the head or the pommel of the weapon, there is an image of what looks like a rat with curling horns on its side.
Oh, gee.
Do you want to touch the dagger or pull it out?
Oh, God. Role-playing, probably... Yes, Marius would probably touch it.
Marius, the curiosity getting the best of him.
Double Smooth would not. but
curiosity getting the best of you, Marius. You reach and you grab a hold of the dagger. You yank it. You're strong as hell, so you easily dislodge it from where it looks like it must have entered into like the beastman's, what you think might be a beastman liver. You're not sure. You pull it out. The blood starts kind of coagulating out of it, and the blade isn't necessarily made of steel. It's actually a long bone. And it's got a yellow tint to it, almost like just an old yellow tooth of a kind. And it looks almost like in the shape of an incisor. Now, it actually is with your profession and you're experienced with metals and things like that. It actually is metal, and it's been purposely crafted to look like bone, to specifically look like an incisor from something's mouth.
Okay. Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what Marius would do as far as if he'd be interested enough to keep it, or if he'd toss it away.
That's up to you.
You said the hilt has a rat on it.
The hilt, the pommel specifically, has it looks like it's been engraved, and this is a very intricately engraved. This looks like an expensive piece of weaponry. The image of it looks like a rat with horns curling on the side of its head, are on the pommel.
Okay. And I don't recognize any of these things.
No, you don't know what any of this stuff is. You know it looks like a rat with horns, like maybe some beastman token or something. You have no idea.
Okay. Besides this reek of beastman, does it have any kind of other odor to it?
So it's heavily glazed when beastman blood right now. So any odor that it might have had previously is you can't tell. There are, however, as the longer you're kind of inspecting it, you can see that there are some kind of maybe rune work engraved into the blade. It looks like some interesting symbols have been carved into it, and you actually recognize some of them.
Okay, what do I recognize it from?
You recognize them because you recognize them that they were decorating, some of these symbols were decorating the outside of Mother Inga's hovel.
Okay. I probably, if I have any kind of spare cloth or anything like that, I'd probably try to wrap it up.
Okay.
And put it in my sack.
Okay. Yeah, you probably have some extra stuff. I'm gonna just assume you have something to do that with. A spare piece of cloth would be easy enough to do. Wrap up.
Okay.
I'm assuming just the blade or the whole thing.
Probably the whole thing.
Okay. This is the equivalent of a dagger, just so you know.
Okay.
So it's of decent length, and it looks almost ceremonial. So it's even a little bit larger than it should be. But I could say you could easily have it. You probably have enough material if you took the time to wrap it up and stow it away in your bag.
Okay.
Or do you have a satchel? What do you have? Do you have?
I have a sling bag.
A sling bag. So yeah, it is a bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm assuming you sling the beastman head over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you guys going to be doing now?
I want to see if I can find Seek.
Okay. So, as you begin looking for Seek, go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
This will be it'll be average, so plus 20.
All right. Oh fuck. That's gonna be 4 degrees of failure. Or close to it.
Yes.
I have 3 degrees of failure. I rolled a 85.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
and my perception would be 49.
Got it. So
Yeah.
you walk over to where you think that Catch was. You can see the blood on the ground where Catch was. And at this point, I'm going to assume, Seamus, you're walking with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to him and say, well, what are we looking for over here?
The dog. Did you see him? Did you see the little dog?
I don't recall seeing the dog. Hey, by the way, do you know what that beastman carried off? Was that a friend of yours?
Yeah, I just met him. Young Master Catch. I don't know what he does, but he seems to be able to see in the dark and shoot very well.
I must not shoot too well. Beastman took him away.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It was so quick. You know, if you weren't here, we'd probably be all under Moore's care. But do I see anything?
So
for the dog?
As you get there, you see the blood on the ground. You get the idea that you know the direction that he was kicked in. You kind of start glancing through the woods. There's nothing there.
Oh no!
You don't see anything.
Oh, shit. And can I look towards Seamus and I'm like, do you have any skill? Do you have any skill tracking, friend?
I had not really much of a tracker, but I can give it a shot. You said we're looking for a dog. What kind of dog?
I'm looking either for the. It's like I forget what they call it. A rat terrier? No, not a rat terrier.
I think so. I want to say that's what it was.
It was a terrier, but it wasn't a rat.
Was it
terrier.
a bull terrier?
Bull terrier. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Bull terrier. Yeah. Do you know bull terrier looks like, Doobie?
Yeah, he's white.
It's kind of like. Do you know what Spuds McKinsey is? You might not know.
No, let me look it up.
Okay.
It's
like
a small dog.
A small dog with a big big mouth, and big face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the dog from Toy Story.
Yeah. I think so.
Sid's dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking for the dog friend or Master Catch. Do you know which way that beastman took him?
I'm assuming I know which way because I saw him run off.
Oh, you do. You definitely know which way. But as you go to point, you hear Suna back on the path. Master Wolf, Mr. Wolf, we should really get a move on.
Right you are, ma'am. I'd probably. Do you think? Well, okay. I'm going to talk to Seamus. Mr. Seamus, do you think you can? You think you could retrace his steps later? Like if we came back later, you think you could kind of get the general direction?
I mean, not likely, but I can give it a shot if the dog's that important to you.
Not so much the dog, Master Catch. We fought and bled together. I don't want to see him get tortured or eaten by beastmen.
Well, lad, I don't know if you know much about beastmen, but it probably would have been better to put an arrow through him when you're scaring them off.
Oh, I know.
Let's have to
so
say that was a goner.
Oh, jeez. I probably would Marius probably looks down.
Okay. As you look down,
yeah,
you see something at your feet. It's the scroll.
Oh shit!
It's just laying at your feet.
And I didn't see him grab it, did I?
Nope.
I grab it.
Okay. Seamus, you see him pick up some parchment. And he looks a little nervous about it. Are you gonna shuffle it away real quick?
I'm just gonna let him do it.
Okay. What about you, Marius? Are you just gonna secret it away?
I'm not gonna secret it away. I wasn't making it like a secret action. I was just reaching down to grab it. Like, oh,
okay,
scroll, and grabbing it.
All right. What are you gonna do with it? It's still clasped right now.
It's still clasped.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd open it immediately. I'd probably just shove it in the bag.
Okay, shove it in the bag.
Shove it in the bag, and then I'll talk to Seamus. We better escort the women back to Sealberg. And so I start to head over there. While I'm walking over there, I'm gonna try to clean myself off as best I can.
With what?
I don't know. Anything I got, you know.
Okay. I could say
my hands.
I'm going to say
whatever,
you probably. I mean, you have probably a water skin. Probably.
Okay.
Pour some water over your face, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe some leaves. Do you have any outdoor survival skills?
I do have some outdoor survival skills.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for it. I'm going to say you probably find a collection of leaves. You've used them for wiping of various fluids before, so you figure blood. Why not?
All right.
And you can clean your face off, although it is still pretty rough from where the hound bit deeply into your skull. Yeah. So
okay.
you can clean. You can at least clean your face off and probably your hands, but your clothes are they're beyond you at this moment.
I try to put water into my wounds at least, you know.
Okay.
Try to clean them out.
Try to clean them out. All right.
Yeah.
That's a smart move.
As best I can. I don't really have any medicine. I don't think knowledge.
You do not. Catch had all the medicine.
I know. I do have a health potion, I believe. Can I take that?
It's a healing poultice. Now, before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and take a break, and we will pick this up in about maybe 5-10 minutes.